This is the Bull Mountain Brothers podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is the B&B Network, and you're listening to Season 3, Episode 2 of the Bull Mountain Brothers podcast. We are kicking off Season 3 with a lot of heat right now.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm not just saying that because of what's on the table in front of us, even though it's really not that hot. That was a little bit of an exaggeration, but we're going to dive right into it. We are doing kind of an impromptu, not that it wasn't planned, but we didn't plan on doing a podcast today.
No, we planned on maybe doing a little one at camp yesterday, and then we were like, Bear's like, well, I'd like to be on the podcast, and we were like, well, hell,
Well, it's fun how things blossom, and today we're joined in studio by Bear, also known as BearTheVoice 3 on TikTok. Have you guys seen his seasoning, the Oh Hell Yeah seasoning? He's here with us today. Bear, how are you?
I am awesome, man. I'm awesome. And I really appreciate you guys throwing this together so I could be in here.
It's a pleasure. There's nothing more fun to us than a last-minute podcast. We've done it 100 times, and we'll do it 100
Absolutely.
more times. We're happy to be honest with you, we've been doing a lot of Zoom calls because a lot of our connections and the people we meet, just like I would say that you're probably well aware, have been through Zoom interviews.
Right.
So we are thrilled to have someone that's in studio because like we were talking before you're live, we did put a lot of work into this thing, and we do love having people to come and enjoy the studio.
Yeah, well, like I was telling you, man, the studio is outstanding. This is not one of these. Most of the studios that I'm in are just fly-by-night, just haphazardly put together. You know, they're pretty shitty to get right down to it.
Which I think that was our biggest goal when we were doing this was
We wanted it to be kind of more like a man cave, kind of homey.
Right,
You know.
right.
Well, I think the outlook was more, what do we have to offer as somebody that's, I mean, when you come out of nowhere, and I'm sure you had this thing too, where you started TikTok and you're like, I have 0 followers, 0 this, 0 that. You have an idea. And I was like, what can we do different that no one else is doing? And just like I would say, would you say that most of your audience is the truck driving community and food community? Or do you think it's all over?
It is literally all over, man.
Well, for us, it's more of an outdoor community, right?
Right.
So we're like, there's 100,000 people doing the same thing, really. What's going to set us apart? It's like, what if we put together a studio that makes, that is enjoyable to look at, looks professional, and separate us to start out with some sort of, and this is what we've always come back to, is, how can we use the studio to make us look professional and keep going forward? And now it's like, we started out with this big thing, and now it's coming together with what we've put together.
Well, it kind of works. I'm really not surprised whenever I came in here because, I spent the last 2 days out at the ranch. Mm-hmm. And it's Two Leggings Outfitters, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I spent the last couple of days out there, and I cannot thank you guys enough, Matt, all of you. I can't thank you enough. I mean, it's been one of the best weekends that I've had spending out there, and as professionally as everything is out there, and the way that everything's set up. I mean, I was I'm trying to remember the squatter's cabin.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, we stayed in the squatter's cabin, and I mean, it was rustic as hell, and it's what I expected this to look like after having spent a couple of days out there.
Okay.
I mean, this is one of the most top-notch outfits I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I would say our biggest goal all the time is comfortableness, right? We want you to feel like a friend or a family member when you come in. So if we reach that goal, that's kind of what our thing is.
No, absolutely. That's what Bear and I were talking about, and it was like an instant. Like, I've known the guy forever, and
Right.
we've talked for 4 days.
Right. Right. I mean, got out there and the only concern that I had while I was out there was going from the cabin to the outhouse, because it was like 11 o'clock at night and there's bears out there. and I might be the bear on TikTok, but yeah, I'm not fighting one. I fought one time.
Okay.
Yeah, I say I fought one. I wrestled a bear. It was, declawed. It was muzzled and all that. And there's that Tim McGraw song where he said he went 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu. Mm-hmm. I went 0.7 seconds with a bear named I'm Kicking Your Ass. He did too, man.
That's what we should schedule Ramsey to get up with. Should we schedule a
Fight a bear?
bear wrestle with Ramsey?
Brought to you by Bull Mountain Brothers.
And
I
Hell Yeah
love that
seasoning.
idea. I do. That's awesome.
Well, I really do want to hear about your guys' trip, and I also want to dive into some more things. I'm going to leave it up to the crew for now. What do we want to start with first? Do we want to get? I want to know the story of Bear. I want to know where Bear comes from. I
Yes,
want to know everything.
yes, I
Or
think-
do we want to talk about the stuff on the table first to get it out of the way?
It's up to y'all. I don't care. I mean, I'm.
Producer?
If you want to do that, I'll get up and I'll run camera.
Well, do we want to do zooms on everything?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so let's talk about this first. Let's talk about, and I'm going to let Matt kind of start this conversation because I want to talk about how we met Bear here and what we've kind of put in production. Honestly, what we have in front of the table here that we're going to talk about has been kind of a fever pitch, kind of like a dream that we've been talking about for over a year now. It's something that like we just don't know how we were going to get it together, how we had I don't know. There was just so many things that was just like, man, we got this going on, we got that going on. Are we going to be able to do this? And then it's just funny how things happen in a matter of 48 hours. With the help of our new friend Bear, really has started to bring a dream to life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we did come up with a salsa idea. God, it's been probably 16 months ago, actually.
Probably.
And so I was laying in bed and talked to Bear the night before.
Whoa.
Okay. That came off a little strange. Let me back this up. I talked to Bear earlier that day, and he's actually rolling to Belgrade, Montana. I'm like, well, hopefully I get to see it. Well, then he's like, well, I'm doing a 34-hour restart in Belgrade. I said, well, does it have to be Belgrade? I can show you a hell of a weekend if you can stop in Billings. Oh, hell yeah, I'll do that. So got doing that. So I'm laying in bed that night. I couldn't sleep. I'm like, I'm going to go make some salsa. I want Bear to try this salsa. So I made up a batch, and he tried it, and it was good.
Yeah,
Bear's
very good.
Very good salsa. And I'm like, you got some of that old hell yeah? We put old hell yeah on there and came up with but I'd say the perfect match on the first try.
Right.
And we tried it, and we're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and then all of a sudden it just, our ideas, we started bouncing off each other, and next thing we know, we are coming out with a salsa.
Yeah.
So let me go a little bit for those listening, because I guess we never even prefaced to those listeners that we have on YouTube and audio right now. We're actually we're live on Bear's TikTok right now. So we might be doing some little interaction with his audience as well as himself. So I will say this for the TikTok listeners as well as our own audience. Where this kind of came from for us was when we're kind of in the early stages of development, which I would say the first year of our conception. We're thinking of ideas all the time. Like, what can we do to get broader, to get out in the open, to do this? And we're always like, oh man, these guys on these podcasts have stuff that, like their own drink, their own seasoning. And we're like, what would be unique to us that we could do, that we could just have lined up on the shelves, have in our stores? People think just like you're dealing with right now.
Right.
And Matt, we sat down. I want to say we were like out camping on Yellowtail, or is it a reservoir or is it a dam?
Dam.
It's a dam, Yellowtail Dam. And he's like, you know what? I have this salsa recipe. And me being a guy, I don't know how everyone else in the room is. I'm not a chunky salsa guy.
Oh God, I hate it.
Not at all.
I don't like having to chew on the big pieces. Like I like the flavor. When I was a kid, I would just dip it straight into the sauce and leave just all the vegetables
Yeah.
in the plate. So Matt brought this salsa to attention. That's more of a blended. Still has like a little bit of. It's not liquid by any means.
No,
but
but
it's
it's got
more,
a little meat to it.
exactly, and it's
Yeah.
It's more like applesauce, I'd say, right?
That's a
Would that
good.
be
I was just gonna say that's a good comparison. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
For
thick.
the consistency, yeah.
And I don't
Not the
remember
flavor.
I don't
No,
remember
not
the
the
first
flavor.
place that you brought, like actually made it after we had talked about it. Because I remember he even has a recipe wrote down on like a little like
Index
refrigerator
card.
index card, yeah. And so we talked about it, and then we went through, like, this is last year when we're running through trying to set up the air show. We're trying to set up fundraisers for the deer hunt. I mean, we were busy, and so we kind of tabled it. And what's interesting for me as our local gardener,
Oh my goodness.
shit that Sean hates me talking about, I love the idea of doing this produce, because Matt we have ideas that are outside of what this is itself right now. But for the salsa itself, it's been an amazing experience in the last 48 hours to get with Bear and really share ideas, and then this is the product.
Right. And we mixed it up that first night, I was telling Matt, I said, you think it's good right now. Wait until morning after it's had time for, because anytime you're using anything dehydrated, it has to bloom. Mm-hmm. And and it bloomed overnight, and we got up the next morning. I made that video with the bloomed salsa, we might say, with the elk sausage and the fried eggs. And by the way, somebody made a comment about my fried eggs being ruined. If you've never had crispy edge fried eggs, you've missed out in life. I just feel sorry for you. It breaks my heart for you. It really does. But the fried eggs, and we put that salsa on there, and Ramsey, the producer, he took a bite of it, and a lot of people can say, but you can't mask the look, and he took a bite of it, and the look that just went all over his face was like, holy fuck, this is good. and then
it was
the first words out of his mouth were, holy fuck, this is good. I knew we had something.
Absolutely.
Matt knew we had something.
And I will have two things that I observed from, like, of course, thank you to Bear so much for sharing who we are, right, to your audience. I mean, that's something you just couldn't, it's really been a blessing in a lot of ways. But I was able to stay up, as my job is what I do with this company is I'm going to go and I'm going to read your comments too, right? I'm going to stay up and do stuff like that. And I saw two comments that I'm going to talk about right now. Actually, one wasn't a comment. One was your reaction. Yeah. And I would say a guy that's doing a lot of cooking and doing a lot of stuff with seasoning, the shake that you made when you had the eggs was just as great as I could imagine Ramsey's reaction. So that's a double do right there. The second one, for probably you, is someone kept saying, what is beer pancakes? So what exactly is a beer pancake?
It's just pancakes made with a light beer.
It's basically the same concept as beer batter.
Yeah.
But your batter is pancake mix.
Right. And you let it sit for, probably 10 minutes?
Yeah, maybe 10 minutes. Yeah. 10, 15 minutes.
And you just make a pancake out of it. But it gives it a whole different texture and flavor.
Yeah, it really did. In fact, I didn't need to use any kind of syrup or anything on mine. I'd never had them before, and I asked Matt after it was over, after we got done eating, I was like, man, how the hell do you make that? And he's like, it's just pancake mix, but instead of the milk or water, whatever they tell you, use beer, a light Pilsner beer. And it's like, dude, this is the most outstanding pancake I've ever eaten. And I'm a fat guy. I've eaten some damn pancakes, man.
So Matt and I spend a lot of time in the woods, and we spend a lot of time at this particular location. And I wonder if you could imagine why we're kind of husky gentlemen, just based off of based off of what we're eating at the cabin.
Well, the cool thing is so I end up going to the truck stop. Well, I have a flat tire just to start our night off.
Yeah.
So that took another. Ramsey had to come rescue me, take my tire off, and go get a new tire. Finally, pick him up, and I'm like, where the hell am I going to feed him? Well, I take him to the fort at 49 in Custer, Montana.
Oh my God! And
I'll let you take over from there.
I'm going to tell you, I've eaten in some really, really nice restaurants. I've had tomahawk steaks that were $400 a piece. I didn't pay for them because I don't have that kind of money. But I've eaten really good. People try to take me out and wine me, and we pull up at this place, and there's no showboat about it. And we go in, and there's no menu. It's just written on a chalkboard. And we both ordered the exact same thing, cooked the same way, everything, which was it was a buffalo ribeye.
Oh, nice. Oh,
and this buffalo ribeye was laying on a bed of creamed parsnip, and I'd never had that before. It had mixed in with the creamed parsnip was kind of I would say like a smothered kale, and on top of that was a risotto made out of barley, and that barley was cooked so incredibly because it was tender, but it still had that snap to it. If you overcook barley, it just turns into mush. Mm-hmm. And then laid on top of all that was this buffalo ribeye that I told him, I said, I want mine between medium rare and medium. And it was exactly the way it was supposed to be. And I'm type 2 diabetic. And so I take a medicine called Monjoro. And Monjoro it works kind of like Ozempic as far as reducing your appetite. I was actually completely full, like a third of the way into it. Mm. And then I was way over full 2/3 of the way into it. And then I was in mortal agony whenever I finished it. But the only time that I used my knife was whenever I cut the first piece. And then I figured out, don't need the damn knife because I just cut it with a fork.
Really?
Yeah, and it wasn't a sharp fork either. And then the last bite, I used my knife to cut it in half because I didn't want it to be over, man. I mean, it was that freaking good. And I thought, damn, this dude is really trying to wind me for something. And I'm glad it was for seasoning and not something else. We were in the middle of 97,000 acres. I wasn't,
Absolutely. Well, and you can say it right now. I mean, it basically looks like a trailer house in the middle of nowhere.
It does.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well, then he had apple pie. He was so full, and then he had to have homemade apple pie with home-picked apples.
Yeah, the apple pie. My paternal grandmother, who swore she couldn't cook, was probably one of the finest cooks that I've ever eaten a meal from. And she would make apple pie using the Granny Smith apples, and she'd stew them down first and all that. She didn't want crunchy apples in her apple pie. But everything, the entire meal was probably the best meal that I've ever had anywhere.
That's amazing. That's great to hear. Shout out to Dave over at the Fort at 49.
Dave and Becky.
Dave and Becky, one of the best hidden gems in Montana.
Bear actually went and talked to him to congratulate him and shout out to Dave for just being so humble. Like he knows he's a good chef. He don't have to say.
He doesn't have to front.
Yeah.
We're
so blessed. And this place is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, there's nothing around it. And, and really a big shout out to Dave on that, because I did tell him just how great his food was. And he was so reserved and so humble is the only word to use. And I've met some big name chefs, some of the really big name. And the big name chefs that I've met, and I'm not going to call them by name, I'm not going to call anybody out, but to say they're arrogant is an understatement. They got the fame and the fortune, and they want you to know it, all the time. And Dave wasn't like that. He's probably the finest chef that I've ever had a meal from.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. And in nowhere, Montana.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Right.
So how often are you coming through Montana?
I'm going to talk to the boss and see if we can't make this a much more regular thing. I promise. There for a while, I was coming through, like every couple of weeks.
Okay.
And
so you've got to experience some Montana over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, one of my favorite places to stop is the 50,000 Silver Dollar City.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great place.
And their food is it's above what you normally get at a place that has truck parking.
Right.
And
but that store is amazing walk around.
It's super cool.
Oh yeah, that store is incredible, and there's an adult beverage that you can buy there called Bear Proof, and every time I go, I buy as much of it as there is, and it's not very top shelf, but it's pretty damn close to it, and it's a $50 bottle whiskey, and it's a Huckleberry whiskey, and I can get it there, and of course, right before you get there, there's St. Regent's where they've got the Huckleberry milkshakes, and their restaurant is really, really good too, and so I've gotten to experience that, and I've eaten at there was, I don't even remember the name of it, a place in Polson, and it was pretty good. But so I've gotten to experience Montana, the Montana people and the Montana food, but this experience that I've had over this weekend blows all of them out of the water, man.
That's great to hear. Good job, boys, for showing our new friend Bear a good time.
Yeah, and thanks for not tying me to a tree, man.
Well,
with Matt, sometimes you're 50-50, so you got the good end of it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't worried whenever I saw Matt because I'm a lot bigger than he is. But then whenever Ramsey showed up, it was like, holy shit. You know, I'm 6'3", and I'm looking up at this guy, and it's like, well, at least my feet are bigger.
Yeah. He's a softie. It's all right.
Yeah, he's all right, man.
So let's talk about what's in front of us right now. We just kind of went over a little bit of what it is. I think what really we have a benefit for right now for the audience is Sean and I missed this little adventure this weekend due to work obligations. What's kind of an interesting thing that we don't really talk about a lot on here is everyone in here is we all own different businesses, right? Mm-hmm. So we have our different work obligations. A lot of times, like you've seen Matt, he goes trucking for 3 or 4 weeks at a time. We miss him on the podcast. Not happening anymore, by the way, because he'll be zooming in from now on.
Absolutely.
But Sean and I had to miss it. What we're going to see right now is Sean hasn't had a chance to try the salsa yet. So we're going to get Sean's first time reaction on the salsa.
All right.
And we're going to see what he thinks is the Bull Mountain Brothers sampler of what this is. Are we going to get a Ramsey reaction, a Bear reaction, or maybe it sucks? Maybe we just are hitting outside of the field here.
Getting in on here. Here we go. That is a perfect consistency.
It is. I mean, it holds on the chip, man.
Hold on. No, go ahead and have it. Go ahead and give us your reaction.
Holy cow. That is the perfect amount of spice for a salsa right there.
Which would be that hell yeah seasoning that is in there. Paired along with a little bit of some pepper flavor, right?
You almost get like a...
Or is it mostly we're getting is just slapped in the face with
There's no seasoning in that salsa except for oh hell yeah.
Very good. Can you give us a display chip to the camera of what we're looking at here?
Display chip here. Give me a zoom.
This is what we're calling.
And can you also do it for the live?
Yeah, if you got to bring a chip up.
Yeah, you got to probably make.
Here, we'll let Ramsey do his test here.
So we got it for our video here. Perfect, Rams. This is what, like we said, Bear and Matt schemed up a good name. The thing that I have always had to deal with for everything, starting with this podcast, was coming up with names for shit.
That is so good.
Right.
And you guys came up with a good one. We didn't have to sit down and brainstorm for hours. I think high country salsa.
That is the bane.
Well, Bear is the one that came up with the name.
Oh, it was not it wasn't a combination. It was just Bear.
It was.
Yeah.
I think Bear's got a good marketing mind ahead of him. I think he's doing pretty good with his.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
So that I've had a lot of salsa before, and you can get that kind of like multi-taste going on. That just hit me with 5 different flavors, and it was all timed perfectly, and they all just pair each other well. I mean, that was delicious.
Do you know what I like in a salsa? I like a salsa that's going to give you a tang, if that makes any sense. Like you're getting a bit of a tang flavor, not a dull. Like let's talk about. We could talk about your store-bought generic paste. Is that the most probably popular one out there?
Yeah, that's the largest.
A lot of the times you may have a bottle that has a little bit of that tang in the sauce itself, but sometimes it comes flat. A lot of sauces come flat, and all you're just pretty much just eating consistency, right? You're just eating this itself. My favorite thing about it is you're getting flavor, right smacked in your mouth right away. And I would say it's probably a lot to do with that oh hell yeah that's smacking right in the mouth.
And what I'm curious about is we made this salsa at camp and we tried it, but this is the second batch now that we've done. As of today, this is the second batch we've made.
All right, sorry to interrupt Matt here, but Ramsey is going to get for the live viewers here.
Yeah, Ramsey's going to show you on my camera if he can get his big butt around there.
Here, Ramsey, you want to?
Can y'all see that good?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know the best thing that I see with this is
like Dairy Queen. You can turn it upside down.
Yeah.
the best thing I've seen about this salsa is I've seen a lot or bought a lot of salsas before that it's a lot of liquid in the bowl when you pour it out into a bowl to have your own serving. That drives me crazy when I dip a chip in and it's only liquid.
Like you're having water on your chip, kind of.
This gives you a perfect consistency to be able to hold on to the chip.
It's fantastic, man.
So where I'm looking at now is, do you guys think, and we've said this from day one, Matt is our regional chef. He feeds us. He's really allowed me to be able to become anything more than a chicken and rice guy at home. So I've become able to cook food in a decent way because of him. So we have these two cooks essentially meeting together as the two cooks in the room. Do you feel like you've mastered what we're going to do for the salsa, or do you think there's going to be a little bit of tinkering?
No, I don't think that needs to be messed with at all.
No, I think the only thing that might be messed with that we've talked about is maybe using the triple X.
Yeah,
as a second type of salsa.
As a second salsa,
right.
yeah. As you know, and there's a lot of people. Which I was born and grew up in Northeast Texas, and then I moved to South Texas. Oh my God! In 1993, I moved to South Texas. I lived down south of Houston, and we lived there. My wife and family and I lived there south of Houston, and then we moved west. And we about halfway between Houston and San Antonio. And there's a difference between Mexican food and Tex-Mex. Huge difference. And I've had some of the greatest salsas because, I mean, they have salsa cook-offs. They have salsa competitions all over Houston, Pasadena.
Producer, remove the salsa for us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, it's just because he wants to eat it.
He's gonna.
Oh no, we're fully aware of where it's
gonna
going.
mute his mic and just
right
sit
into
over
his
there.
gut.
Exactly. But you know, I mean, great salsas, and you know, you've got your mild salsa, which I think Matt's recipe without the oh hell yeah, as a mild salsa would be perfect.
Yes.
So you think there's a potential for 3 total?
Oh, absolutely,
salsas.
absolutely. I think we'll have to work with the triple X, but Matt's base salsa recipe is one of the best salsas I've ever tasted.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And then what we've got with the oh hell yeah, the original oh hell yeah, I mean it's perfect, just like it is. And then we'll have to figure out how to make the triple X where it's, you know, it still needs to be edible.
Right.
You know, to where you don't just take a bite and have to take a drink.
I think the thing I love about the all hell yeah on there, Bear, with the salsa is you can taste the salsa. It's mild at first when you first eat it, and then you get that all hell yeah kick at the end.
Yeah.
And it makes you want that next chip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
this is going to really, I think the high country salsa is really going to put a lot of tortilla chip brands out of inventory because people aren't going to stop at one.
Right.
Oh, no, they won't be able to stop at one.
Where did that soundbite come from?
That came from my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, what did they give him?
They gave you a badge, BB.
A glitter badge.
Oh, sweet.
Gifter.
Thank you.
It's gifter badge.
Oh, BB,
Gifter
that's
badge.
Big Bird. Big Bird is, he's in every live. And I've got his phone number, and I haven't had a chance to call him yet. He's a truck driver.
Okay.
And just an awesome guy. Y'all might have seen the video where he did a video and said, you know, how are we supposed to know which one is the real you? Because
I did see that.
okay, well, at last count, there were 36 other Bear the Voice accounts where people have taken my name and used it in some derivative.
Oh, for clout?
Yeah, well, they're trying to get enough followers, get people to follow them, thinking that they're me, and that way they can get into the
Douchebags.
yeah. What they want is to become monetized.
Right.
You know, and you have to be monetized, you have to have a minimum of 10,000 followers, and you have to have a minimum of 100,000 video views per month, per 30-day month. It doesn't, not just one video that hits 100,000, but over all of your videos, and then you can become monetized, and then you can do the TikTok shops and all of that, and start getting those commissions, and you know, start making a little money. And so I've been trying to get TikTok to validate me, get that blue check.
Right.
And I've been on PBS television. I've been on NBC television. I've been on ABC National Radio. I've had multiple articles written about me in Overdrive magazine, which is the world's largest truck driving industry magazine. I've had articles written about me in Landline magazine, which is, at any given time, it's either the second or third largest trucking industry magazine in America, or in the Americas, because you got to include Guam and Puerto Rico and all that. But for TikTok to validate somebody, you have to have 4 prestigious publications made about you. Now, PBS is huge. They've been around forever. All over the United States and Canada and Guam and Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, all of that. NBC is fucking NBC, you know.
Right.
ABC National Radio. When I was on NBC National Radio, I mean, it's literally being broadcast all over the country. And then but that's not prestigious enough for TikTok.
Interesting.
Yeah, weird. And you can't.
What would be classified as prestigious nowadays? I guess I don't know what more. I mean, most of these channels are still around.
I don't know. Vanity Fair. I don't know.
Maybe it's B&B.
Yeah, there you go. You can tell you're on the Beaumont Brothers podcast.
That's it.
And for the live listeners, this is Sean.
Oh, I should have introduced y'all.
I'm sorry. There you go.
Yeah, this is Sean. That's Chumley. I'm sorry, man. I shouldn't have gone there.
It's fine.
No. This is Riley.
Yes.
I want to say O'Reilly because my oldest son, used to work at O'Reilly's. So
okay.
This is Riley, and that's Matt. I don't know if you can see him in the picture or not. And over there, hiding in the corner with his black shirt and his black background, the floating head, which y'all can't see, thank God. That's Ramsey. That's the pharaoh of the entire organization.
We always tell people that Ramsey's really got a face for radio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's rocking like the Travis. Is it Travis Tritt?
I keep calling it the Hulk Hogan. I mean, just like the.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? What are you trying to model it off of?
Kurt Russell.
Really?
That's a Kurt Russell look?
Oh, yeah. That's Matt's favorite person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
There was something recently that I saw him in where he has no facial hair. I can't think of what it was. It was like a new show or a new
Is that a bone tomahawk type of?
I mean, I'm not there yet, but
yeah.
You want to have like the real meaty.
Oh yeah.
Meaty Fu Manchu.
Oh yeah.
I got you.
Baby steps.
Oh, so you want what I've got?
What?
Yeah, you heard me. I was kind of pissed while I was home over the holidays. My beard, and my mustache and goatee had gotten really, really. It was starting to wave a little bit, and so I went in there and I got my trimmer out, and I didn't have my glasses on, and I put the wrong guard on.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, and I came back out, and my wife, I think she's probably watching this right now on the live, and my wife and I have been married almost 31 years. We've been together 32.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And in that time, she's always said, baby, don't shave.
Okay.
Baby, don't shave. And I came out of the bathroom, and she looked at me, and she said, what in the hell did you do to your face? I was like, I'm sorry. But it'll grow back,
That's what we all hope. That's what I keep saying about when I cut my hair, but I obviously haven't been cutting it just because I am in fear of becoming bald.
Of a toupee.
But so let's move on to, actually we have an ad read to run real quick. Do we just want to tag team this one, Rams? Or do you think you got her handled?
You got it, dude.
I knew he was going to do that. He always gets so nervous. That's why we keep him in the corner.
I don't think there's been a camera switch on him.
Yeah.
No,
there has
Can we
not.
switch over
That's
to
because
Rams
he's
real
been
quick?
eating salsa.
No, switch back. There's salsa on your chin.
No, it's good. That's just the part that I forgot to shave.
So we're just going to talk real quick. We just got into a...
Grab a bag, Sean.
Sean, you want to grab a bag? You guys all know our good friends over at Right on Trek. And we were able to meet with our good friend Steve from Right on Trek this week and really talk about what their goal is for this year. And as far as that goes, what we found out is that Right on Trek itself has pretty much divided into 3 separate companies.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
As a whole. And so the ones that we have really stuck with, the ones that we've really used, has been the food side of the company, which really fits what we do. I mean, Sean and Ramsey themselves are big time pack into the woods, do the ready to eat meals, essentially is what they are.
Yep.
Because it's lightweight. It's what you guys are able to pack in. And I mean, you guys have the most experience of eating this stuff. What is your thoughts going forward in 2024?
I mean, we've said it before on the podcast, and Ramsey and I have tried a lot of different brands.
Oh yeah.
And there's just really, for taste, you don't get anything better out of than Right on Trek. I mean, and with their now, which I believe this is new, the 1-person meals, is that correct?
Yep.
So I mean, even the 2-person.
I want one of those beef stroganoffs. I've got
a chili.
I've got a chili, and I'm going to do a video on. And here's the deal, guys. Everything I do is 100% straight up. So if it tastes like shit, I'm going to say, "Hey, this tastes like shit."
Well, we should buy you the competitor's brand, and you can taste
No. I grew up in a military house, so I mean, I've eaten a lot of MREs.
Okay. This is going to be
and we all know there's one brand out there that you can see in Walmart's where pretty much that started the dehydrated foods.
I've had that.
That we're not a company that's going to do the bashing type thing, but we will say up front, this compared to that is apples to oranges.
Oh,
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to do a video
gourmet.
tonight with the chili, and
Or maybe beef stroganoff. We'll see.
or maybe no, that one's got broccoli in it, and I don't do broccoli, man.
You didn't do kale till Friday.
Well, you got a point there, man. You got a point.
What else do we have back here?
Well, these are some new meals. So you guys haven't seen these because what we've had for a long time has been mac and cheese, which is their staple, chili. What did you guys have? A beef bolognese, which you guys really enjoyed, right?
That one's
stupid good.
delicious.
And then maybe a couple breakfast ones, but these are ones that are really. What I want to say, Steve told us these are kind of the new staples, which would be the chicken coconut curry. Steve told us his favorite is the chicken Alfredo, so we'd really need to try that one.
I don't know if we've
That's
had.
the one I want to try. I want to try the chicken Alfredo.
I don't think we've tried that one, Ramsey.
When he says it, to him, it's his favorite.
And
one.
he also would love if you guys could come up with a cabbage one. Just cabbage soup.
Give me something to throw. I'm gonna throw a duck call at you, man.
Oh, so we don't like cabbage? That's the joke.
No, we don't eat cabbage.
We like cabbage.
I will say, so when we were really getting into hunting season last year and needing to figure out meals and stuff, and we got hooked up from Right on Trek with the kind of, I guess I can't remember what you call it, the pack.
The kit.
The kit where it's, it's basically
The meal kit.
It's 3 meals, I mean,
Right.
essentially, and you get oatmeal for the morning. You get
I
Cheese
love
sticks.
oatmeal, man.
cheese
Beef
sticks,
sticks.
beef snacks and stuff. And Ramsey and I were trying to figure out, we've done the mac and cheese, we've done all, this, and we looked at it and we actually picked the vegan option
Really?
for it because the other options, we'd already tried all of them. We're like, let's try something new. And I mean, that almost might have been my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, set. I mean, it was delicious.
And that was a conversation Matt and I had with Steve was, and we're not by any means anti-vegan. We just don't live that life.
Right.
As hunters, outdoorsmen. I mean, we're eating meat, but the vegan options from a standpoint of people that don't eat it were delicious. They were some of our favorite meals, like the chili. I believe the chili is not. It doesn't have meat of any
it's
sort.
vegan. That's a
It's a
vegan
vegan
chili.
chili.
That chili that I've got in
Yes,
the
sir.
truck, that's
Yeah.
a vegan chili?
Yes.
Oh, and I mean, I'm a huge meat eater, but there's a lot of times that I'm just not feeling it, man. And I mean, I'll have I'll open of course, I'm in a Peterbilt, so I can't carry fresh.
Right.
But I'll open a can of whole leaf spinach and a can of collard greens, and that's what I'll have for dinner. Just spinach and collard greens. And there's nothing wrong with going meatless from time to time.
Right. And I think that to have a tasty meatless option,
I don't think
is really nice.
I don't
And-
think you would
and
even
filling.
notice.
But
though.
your calorie count too is really good. Like you're not, a big
Right.
thing with other things is they're overloading the calories for the hiking purposes.
I don't have my glasses.
Oh, shoot.
But you're still getting all kinds of good nutrients and stuff with just the vegan options as well.
Yeah, and like I was saying with the chili, I mean the ones that we had through the vegan option, I don't think if they wouldn't have said on the bag that it was a vegan option for some of the stuff, I would have had no idea. I would have thought it. I mean, it was that good. I mean,
and I think one
this
last
is by far the biggest ad read we've ever had,
which is fine. I think that's what we've got to do. I mean, we're talking about our good friends.
Well, it's one of them deals. We're being honest, and I cannot wait to watch your reaction.
Yeah, just to get another. You guys have good food palates, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
One last thing that I did want to talk about on Right on Track is Sean said that these are the new single person meals, right? The price on these, I do believe we spoke to, was $8.99.
He said the cheapest ones were $4.99 to $7.99.
Which don't you think that's a super competitive and almost cheaper?
I would say the biggest one that everybody sees out there, that other brand, I think they're somewhere around the 9 to 10.
10, 11,
which,
almost.
I mean, for the difference in the food you get, it's with that price that they're doing something good over there.
And when we talk about, when we do our outdoor adventures, we do hunting, we do fishing, we always talk about budgeting, right? So you're able to do the hunts and fishing as much as you can, because we're in a world where the economy is not the best, and we want to be able to do our
that's an understatement, man.
We want to do the adventures as much as we possibly can. So we're always budgeting, whether it's when Matt and I are going to the cabin with our own food, or whether we're doing Right on Trek meals. So what's really nice with Right on Trek.
Sorry, we got a little thing from the live here that was
Neutral
good.
Gavin. Yes, this is Chumley.
Yes, that is Chumley. Right here.
Oh my God.
Love that.
Hey, he's a cool dude, man.
I believe it.
The brand of the meal is called Right on Trek.
Locally sourced here in Kalispell, Montana.
Yeah.
I love Kalispell, man. I've delivered up into Kalispell lots of times over the last
Beautiful
few
country.
years.
Probably some of the
my
most
God.
beautiful country in
Montana. It is.
As far as you said tonight, Barry, you're going to go and unload on site. So that means there's no bathrooms,
right?
No restaurants, no nothing. Would that be something that you could see having in your bunk at time to time in order to just have a quick meal?
All the time. And in my sleeper right now, I don't have dehydrated meals, but I've got the add water and make your mashed potatoes, the little cups of basically instant mashed potatoes. I've got the cups of instant rice. You just put the little cup in the microwave. I've got a lot of really, really fast, easy meals. And, I carry a coffee pot with me. And so having access to hot water will be, it's right there.
Right.
So, I cook a lot of stuff in the truck, but I might cook 20 meals. Any meal I cook in the truck, I do a video on it. So maybe 20 times a month, I'm cooking in the truck. Mm-hmm. I eat a lot more than just 20 times in a month.
Right.
So, but I'm not going to do a video of me heating up a can of this or a dehydrated that. But that's something that I could see having a lot of drivers carrying that in their trucks. And, that's something else a lot of drivers do is they meal prep.
Okay.
Because either they can't cook or they don't have the setup I've got in my truck. So they've got a refrigerator or something that plugs into the cigarette lighter to be able to keep stuff cold. And that's what they do. That would be a whole lot easier than a meal prep. Right.
Well, and I think that I see Matt kind of made a joke about this is the longest ad read ever, but I do think there's some fun things to talk about here.
Well, I just it's a product we believe in, and
right.
And the negative that Steve spoke. See, Steve told us that he's having a hard time with people in the outdoor hunting industry because a lot of guys are complaining, and I want to get this from my two guys here that do a lot of this backcountry stuff. They're complaining about how you cannot cook it in the bag like the other ones.
Right, you get typically the other brands you'll heat up water in a jet boil and then you'll just dump it right in the bag and it'll tell you 5 to 15 minutes let it sit, right? This one though you're actually cooking it in the jet boil itself, which was the biggest thing that we talked about was it makes you feel like you're having a home cooked meal when you're out in the sticks. Mm-hmm. Which I could see though. We definitely have talked about that in the past where it gets a little cumbersome to have to clean out your jet boil when you're done, and you only bring so much water when you're 8 to 10 miles in for the day. But that is something that we are probably going to have a conversation with.
Well, and I think that we've come up with we've brainstormed some cool things.
There's something coming out. Well.
That was the longest one yet. I'm pretty sure.
I thought he got stuck in it. I thought he was never coming.
They're actually coming out with something for your jet boil.
Okay, I'm going to be stupid
for
and because I am. And I'm sure that a lot of people that are watching on live are going to have the exact same question. What the hell is a jet boil?
So it's kind of like it was made for the backpacking community, right? So this is going to be like your hikers, your guys that are coming up from California, going into the big mountains, doing all this backpacking type stuff. It's really carried over to the hunting industry because we can use it all the time. Even the ice, fishing industry, all that stuff like that. It's a little, Ramsey, why don't you explain it? You use them all the time.
So a jet boil is you have a little canister of propane.
Yeah.
And it's a burner that goes on the propane, and I mean it's so efficient. You can boil, what is it, a minute? You can boil water.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's got a little canister that goes on the top of that burner that's removable, and then you just have everything in there. And when you're done with it, it all fits right back into that canister.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
Ramsey, we get him on camera for 5 seconds. He can't handle it.
So, but they have different sizes for them too, which like they have the one that Ramsey and I are wanting to get for at least one of us throwing our pack. Is it 1.5 liter?
2.
It's 2. So it's a 2 liter canister that you can actually put on. And I see a lot of backpackers use it because they'll bring like full pots.
Yeah.
That they want to, like mix. Like when they, like I've seen a lot of Ride on Trek reviews with the mac and cheese. That backpackers will make it in their 2 liter jet boil and then pour it into a pot or something just to, I guess, ration it out a little easier. But the jet boils make everything 10 times easier when you're out. So what are you bringing when you're hunting? Some granola bars, some jerky, stuff like that. But then when you have a jet boil, you can literally make yourself a 3-course meal. Brought to you by Ride on Trek. I mean,
yeah.
Well,
so
the next company that needs to sponsor you is Jetboil.
I think so too, because Matt did say that they're working on some stuff. If they don't hop on it soon enough, we're going to hop in on it.
Yeah.
Because we have some ideas and we may do some. And I want to get on this talk here in a little bit with Bear and Matt about Matt's new segment that is really what I think is we talked about it for 2 years and then we finally implemented it recently. Is really going to take off for us is Matt's Minute. But coming in a Matt's Minute might be us showing what we're demonstrating as an easy solution to the jet boil being dirty problem, which was kind of a combination of an idea that I had with Steve that he said they've kind of already been thinking about something similar, but I think we're going to try it in real time and see if it's efficient.
Absolutely.
So with the longest winded ad read of all time, that's our friends over at Ride on Trek. Go check them out.
An ad?
It absolutely was. I think about 20 minutes ago we started
I thought
it.
this was a segment.
No, this was an ad. They better love us over at Ride on Trek because we love them.
So.
But yeah, go check them out at rideontrek.com and order there. Here soon, you might be able to order it through bullmountainbrothers.com. That's a conversation we had too. But go check our friends out at Ride on Trek. Circling back, let's talk about Matt's Minute. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast last week. It's something we've always wanted to do because it gives everyone in the podcast an avenue to have their own kind of little adventure within the business. I'm really trying to push for Sean to do TikTok lives, making Sean is an excellent. A lot of people don't know this. He makes spinning rods and fly fishing rods, and even ice fishing rods. And I've been wanting him to just put the camera up and do some of his building. I think it'd be really good. But one that we're talking about right now is Matt's Minute. And I assume you guys have kind of spoke about Matt's Minute segment.
No,
really?
Well, I sent you the Matt's Minute. That was the video I sent you.
Oh, okay. That was Matt's Minute. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's something we're
With
trying
the
to
fire.
do weekly to bi-weekly, depending on you're a truck driver. So you're what Matt's gone a lot too, just like you're gone from home a lot. And so as much as we can do it, and maybe if we have to have old Rams will fill in to do a cooking segment on how to pour cereal into a bowl.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
We're going to do Matt's Minute. And so I just want to see what you guys think about the development of Matt's Minute and if you think it's going to be successful.
Oh, I know it's going to be successful. Without a doubt. Now that we have more affiliates, it's going to be a lot funner. Because I can not only do Matt's Minute, but I can also do ad reads pretty much at the same time and use product like Oh Hell Yeah seasoning, Right on Track, and go from there.
Yeah, because we're gonna kind of, I do want to make full length YouTube videos like you guys did with the reaction video, or you did last year.
Yeah, the
with
review.
Right on Track.
Yeah.
But I also would like to do short clippy videos with Matt's Minute. So I think that the adventure with the salsa also gives us an avenue to market the Oh Hell Yeah seasoning. Can we get a close up of this Oh Hell Yeah seasoning? I'd like to talk more about that too. Let's get some labeling in here. For those, obviously our audience, I mean, this is something new. Do you have this in anywhere in Montana, or is everything you're doing sourced through online?
Right now, 99.9% of it is sourced online. There are my Oh Hell Yeah, the original, which is what this is. It is in a few stores and a few meat markets around the country, but as far as being in any big stores, no, it's not.
So this is probably a lot of people's, on our end, first sight of this seasoning.
Right.
And it's amazing. I mean, what do you do, Sean, at home? What are you using most of the time for seasoning?
Salt, pepper, garlic.
2 pounds.
Believe it or not, Ramsey knows this. I make a lot of my own kind of seasonings too. I have a lot of, I'll go buy just something like this from the store, right? And I'll use that up, or sometimes I'll even pour it out if I don't totally love the seasoning that I bought, and I'll just kind of mix up my own and put it into something like that. It's typically what I do. Salt and pepper, though, a lot of the times. I mean, not a heavy seasoning guy, but I'm gonna definitely want to try that on eggs.
Oh, it's great.
That's what I keep hearing. All of a sudden, see, Matt's a big egg guy all of a sudden now.
Yeah.
Hey.
He's feeding us egg ranchero. Is that what it's called?
Huevos.
Rancheros.
Do you have any Oreo cookies up in your kitchen?
I believe so, yes.
Run up there and grab them,
Alrighty.
please.
Oreo
Cookies.
I'm fixing to. Whoa.
So is this kind of like a?
Hey, quit doing that.
Okay, man. Sorry about
Is this
that.
like a salt on cantaloupe kind of thing, or like a?
There was a.
Or pepper on cantaloupe? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess I'm not a big fan of cantaloupe, but there's a creator on TikTok named Donnie Loman 68, DONNY. He gets his feelings hurt if you say IE.
Okay.
But Donnie Loman 68, great guy. In fact, he just came to work for us over at PTI, and he was like, I want to do something. I want to see if it really goes great on everything. So he did a video, and he cracked open an Oreo. He sprinkled the original Oh Hell Yeah on it, and he took a bite. And like I was saying with Ramsey, you can't fake that first expression. And the expression that came over his face, and he was like, "Holy shit, this is good." This is good. So I tried it.
You know what it's like when you have kids living in the house.
Oh, damn it. I was wanting Sean to try it. Because,
That would be good.
I've already done it.
Right.
But I would hope people would believe me whenever I say it's awesome. But you crack one open, you sprinkle Oh Hell Yeah on it, you eat it, and it is actually good.
So that we're gonna bookmark that future video. Sean trying Oh Hell Yeah.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Oreo. We will do it, and we
Yeah.
will tag BearTheVoice 3, and we're gonna see Sean's reaction.
Now that we're kind of talking about recipes, I guess in a sense for different things that people might not have tried, I have done tri-tip with a salsa marinade before.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give that a shot with this new High Country Oh Hell Yeah salsa. I think that would be delicious.
I did a brisket. This was, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. I did a brisket, and I used a hot sauce, a liquid hot sauce as a binder, and it was very good. I'll admit. I want to take the Oh Hell Yeah High Country salsa and use that as a binder, and just see how it works on just real light coat. But see how that works. I think it's going to work great.
I think it'd be great.
Yes.
Would you agree that for binders, using something a little spicy always gives you the best outcome?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. I grew up like I say, in Texas, where you have a little bit of sweet. Now, the big craze in barbecue now is basically super sweet. You know, you're going to have your honeys and your brown sugars and all that shit. And I'm just not. I'm not that guy. I'm the. Bless you.
Thank you.
I want to snap. I want to bite. You know, and I want it to taste like meat, not dessert. You know, and so that works really good just as a barbecue rub. Now I am coming out with a barbecue rub.
I can't wait.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
We're a big barbecue forward group around here.
Well, I'll tell you what. Whenever I've just about got it perfected, and I don't know where I come up with the names, but I came up with that one. I'll tell you the story on how I came up with that. Not the seasoning, but the name for it. But my barbecue rub is going to be, oh, hell yeah, South Texas Sweet Heat Barbecue Rub. Because it's going to have a little bit of sweet. It's going to have a whole lot of heat. And it's going to be awesome. Right now, sitting at the house, I've got 2 pork shoulders, I've got a brisket, and I've got a pork belly waiting on me. And if you've never done a brisket-style pork belly, that's something we'll talk about.
Okay.
But
Something you've done before?
No, but
Really? Matt's done about everything. So
you do a pork belly exactly the same way you do a brisket.
Wow.
You know, except I don't wrap. No,
Oh,
just
really?
don't wrap it. But at 165, every 30 minutes, spritz it with some hard apple cider. Oh yeah, bring it up to 204.
204, yeah.
hell yeah.
Bring it off. Let it rest for an hour. Oh my God.
I believe it.
Do you think you gotta spritz it a lot more than a brisket just to keep it moist?
No, that's just the way that I figured out to do it.
Sure.
And you know, if you're looking, you're not cooking. So I hate opening that. I use a pellet smoker because I cheat. But you know, I hate opening that lid. But open it about halfway, close it real quick, and yeah, and you get a good bark. You know, you get a real good bite, and it pulls apart just like a brisket will. I mean, it's outstanding. So whenever I get home and I feel like I've got my sweet heat where it needs, I'm going to be doing a lot of cooking, and but I tell you what, whenever I know it's right, I'll send y'all a 6-pack. How about that?
We love that. We love that.
Absolutely.
Going straight into the Matt's Minute is what that'll be.
Absolutely.
Matt makes speaking of brisket, Matt makes a mean brisket. Someday I'll have to.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys could trade pork belly brisket for regular brisket.
Yeah.
And see.
But what I was saying is before I've always just used a yellow mustard binder.
Right.
Very, very light yellow mustard binder. And you know, I mean that's just standard. That's if you use a binder, that's what people use. And that's always been really good. Using a hot sauce binder, that totally changes flavor. And so I'm really looking forward to the high country salsa as a binder.
It's going to be interesting to see how that pairs too.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of. It's going to be a. What's the word for a lot of uses? Versatile.
Yeah, there you go.
Versatility.
Versatile
Versatile, yes.
component,
Yeah.
and I think
What a broad vocabulary you got.
I'm
going
really
on
trying
today.
to branch on my words.
He said broad.
Don't get Sean going. We'll never get him back again. This is a first for us with an interview where usually at the beginning we're doing a who are you? Where did you come from? What is your passions? What are you doing? And now what is the time check over there? We're at an hour already? Wow, Bear, this has been awesome. Do you have to leave or anything? Like, are we keeping you from anything?
No,
because we like to let it roll if we're going to let it roll.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to pull out of here until probably 4:00 this afternoon.
Okay, cool. So we're going to keep letting it roll. At this point, what I want to do is I want to tell you one more little ad read, and then I want to get. I mean, we got to know who you are, Bear. We need to know.
All right.
We need to know what's going on with BearTheVoice. Oh hell yeah, seasoning and where it all came from. But first of all, I want to talk about our friends over at Tier 1. If you guys remember last week from the podcast, Tier 1 is our friends that were F&H, contracting and fencing. They have now upgraded their program. changed the name. They're Tier 1. They're just as good as ever. Go check them out on Facebook. Tier 1 Fence. We've showed you guys pictures before. They make some of the most appropriate, professional looking, whether it's vinyl, cedar, barbed wire. They do agriculture. They do all that stuff. It all looks. That's the one thing I've always said about them. It looks good. And how often are you going out and be like, wow, that fence looks good?
Well, they put a lot of pride in what they do.
Absolutely.
Ton of pride. And not only are they the owners, but they're out there busting ass right beside their employees.
Exactly, and that's kind of a thing that we always like to pride our friends. You know, like we're guys that we're down on the front line. We like to deal with people that are on the front line, right. And they do a good job at what they do. They're local here in Billings, so give them. We got another badge here on the live. Want to read that for us real quick in the midst of this?
BB 1967 just got the number 2 gifter badge.
Wow. Sweet.
Nice. So anyways, check out our friends. The best way to get a hold of them, especially if you guys are outside of Billings, go to their Facebook page at Tier 1 Fence. I believe they have their business phone number on there. As we get more information on this new company as a whole, we will give you guys their full number. But make sure you guys go there and say that the BMB crew, the Bull Mountain Brothers podcast sent you, and they might give you like a free quote or something. You just go check it out and just see what they got going on. So that's our friends over at Tier 1 Fence.
I want to throw something in, not about Tier 1 Fence, but on the gifter badge. Every live I do, people are so generous. They give these gifts. They're TikTok gifts. And I always want to try to give back. I'd like to, I can't just say thank you, and, because it's actually costing them money.
Can Bull Mountain Brothers gift a shirt to the guy with the most badges or the most
Certainly,
tonight?
Absolutely.
Let's do
absolutely.
that. We will donate a shirt to Bear the Voice 3.
What I do on every live, and this one included, is whoever the top gifter is, I send them a 3-pack of my old Hell Yeah seasoning. And like I say, I do that because it's the only way I can really say thank you.
Right.
And so in this live, whoever the top gifter is, you get a 3-pack of my old Hell Yeah seasoning and a Bull Mountain Brothers T-shirt.
We love it. We love to hear it.
That'll be awesome, man.
Yeah, so make sure to go ahead and give those gifts to Bear here and comment and do everything you can. At the end here, you're going to win something special. So thanks to Bear. That's a cool thing that you do. I like that.
Now there's an influx coming in right now.
They want that seasoning. I mean, we want that seasoning. Maybe you go comment on Bull Mountain Brothers real quick on his live.
Yeah.
And as far as whoever wins, we have shirts in all sizes.
Yeah, so make sure you let us know what size it is so we can get you the right one.
When the live is over, TikTok sends me a list of the top 10 gifters. And so I'm able to know immediately, who's. And so what I do, pardon me, what I do is I'll message whoever the top gifter is and, let them know, hey, you were the top gifter, send me your address. And so I'll find out what size shirt.
And if you want to hold that up for your phone, you can let people see what the shirt will be that they're going to win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is from
all wrinkled.
Yeah, we can blame Sean, our product manager, for that.
Yeah, and as you can see, this is going to fit me. But that's the Bull Mountain Brothers shirt. So you'll get the Bull Mountain Brothers T-shirt. Let me set that over here. And a 3-pack of my old Hell Yeah seasoning.
Yeah, and this shirt here is coming from our lineup of 2023 clothing. We're about to switch into our 2024. That's a big thing that we did as a company, is we want to be a big apparel company too. So this is from our lineup from last year. It's a really attractive. It's got an elk shed on it with kind of our mountains, and Sean's wearing it right now.
And
another version here.
And to answer you, Mandy, yes, you can go on BMB.
It's bullmountainbrothers.com
store. And you can order our shirts and hats.
Yeah, so if you just, like I said, if you go search bullmountainbrothers.com, you go to the little tab that says B&B store, that's going to have what's left in our inventory.
Your wife just messaged and said, hey, honey, buy me a shirt.
Oh, you got it, baby. You got it. No worries there. I'm going to bring you a shirt and a cap. I tell you what, to the people that are on my live right now, of course, I can't do it right now while I'm on this, but whenever I get done with this isn't really a podcast. This isn't an interview. This is just 4 + 1 over in the corner, just shoot the shit session, and I love
Absolutely.
it. But whenever we get done with this, I'm going to put the Bull Mountain Brothers website on my link tree. And so you'll be able to go to the link on my profile page, and that'll bring you over to my link tree. You'll be able to go to Bull Mountain Brothers website, which will also bring you over to their online store. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Bear. That's more than the nicest thing that we've had anyone doing here. So we really appreciate that. Obviously, on a smaller scale, all of our guys, you can go check out our link tree, and of course, we're gonna have Oh Hell Yeah all over it, because this is what's gonna be, a newfound friendship and the beginning of high country salsa brought to you by Oh Hell Yeah. So thanks for that. Keep doing those badges on here, and we'll see who can come home with a nice Bull Mountain Brothers shirt. Let's get
a 3-pack.
And a 3-pack. And a 3-pack. Let's get into it now. I want to know who's Bear. I want to know where you came from. Maybe not your whole life story, because I might get you past 4:00.
Yeah, that would take a while, but I was never a social media hound at all. Pardon me. My where we lived, past tense, we've since moved, but where we lived there in southeast Oklahoma, we had an above ground swimming pool in the backyard. The backyard was just 80 acres. And I say just 80 acres because, well, I just came off of 97,000 acres. So just a little small yard. But we had an above ground pool. It was 16 foot by 32 foot pool. So it was a good size above ground pool. And I'm in the pool, and my wife and my daughter and her husband. And my daughter tells me, she said, Daddy, you need a TikTok. I said, baby, I got to watch. And she said, no. She said, you need a TikTok. It's an app on your phone. I said, baby, my phone's got a clock app on it already. Because I'm thinking TikTok like a clock. You know? I have no clue. I've never heard of this shit. Well, she looked at me, and my daughter is basically just the female version of me, but way prettier. And
thank God.
Yeah, I know it, man. But she looked at me and she said, are you a fucking moron? It's like, no, but I am your fucking dad. Watch what you say to me. And so she pulls it up on her phone. And I'm like, what would I need? Because, what scrolling through, it's just people dancing and people singing along and people acting, I started to say acting stupid, but that'd be rude.
Silly,
yes. And I said, baby, why would I need something like that? What? I mean, I wouldn't know the first thing to do. And she said, Daddy, you've got the coolest voice on the planet. Your voice, people will watch your TikToks just to hear your voice. And I was like, no.
Yeah, well, if you could just do the Duluth Trading Company commercial voice real quick.
I know it, man. I know it. But I was like, all right, well, if you say I need one, set it up. Because I had no clue, I mean, I barely could do Facebook. Mm-hmm. And, any idiot can do Facebook. Well, she gets it set up for me, and she's like, what do you want your username to be? I said, I don't know. And I've always been called Bear. Mm-hmm. And so she set up the BearTheVoice. And I said, now what do I make videos on? She said, just be you, man. And so that's what I started doing. And it really, really went stupid crazy. And that was just plain old BearTheVoice. Well, I'm not going to say the comment that I made, or actually the video I made, because I don't want to lose this account too. I'll tell you off camera.
Perfect.
But I did a video response, or a video reply to a comment that actually got the original BearTheVoice banned at 600,000 followers. Mm-hmm. Then I started BearTheVoice 2, and an actual hacker took BearTheVoice 2, and I'll tell you off camera how we got that account banned. That's a really cool story. And so then I didn't have two-factor verification, and then I started BearTheVoice 3, and I don't know, it's like 913,000 followers now. So it's but what I decided whenever I started doing these videos on TikTok was I'm not going to do any trends, because I'm not a trendy person. Mm-hmm. Shit, I'm old. I'm 55 years old. And God, it hurts to even say those words. 55. God almighty.
Matt's like 63, so.
yeah, something like that.
No, I was able to use the old man joke yesterday. It was pretty nice.
I told him, I said, don't get used to it because in 24 hours it's back to you, buddy.
American-born truck driver just got the #1 gifter badge.
American-born truck driver has won the 3-pack, I think 4 or 5 times.
Thank you.
So what you're saying is there's some good cooking going on at his house.
Oh my God, yeah, man. Oh my God, yeah. So that's awesome, man. But how the oh hell yeah seasoning got going. I was cooking in the truck and making videos on it, and the seasoning that I was using. The seasoning I was using was coming out of Lafayette, Louisiana, and it's a great seasoning. And you know, I'd go through the steps of how I'm cooking. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna sprinkle on my XYZ seasoning. And people who have been following me for a long time, they already know what that seasoning is, and it's a great seasoning. I'm not gonna say anything bad about them. But I started getting these messages, these comments, or direct messages saying, man, why are you pushing the seasoning when it's too fucking expensive to buy?
Right.
And it was like, I didn't know, because I would go directly to the store in Lafayette and I'd buy cases at a time. But then I looked it up online, and yeah, the seasoning was like $7 or $8, but the shipping and handling was nearly $40. And that was per bottle. And you can't afford that.
Right.
You know, I mean, somebody that's rich.
What size bottles are they? Ounces wise?
Those are 16-ounce bottles. And so I was like, no, I can't keep using this. And people be trying, you know, spending money I mean, this economy sucks.
Right.
So I had been making that seasoning for my own use at home. Been making it for years. And so I, kind of like Sean said, just dump out a bottle. I had a bottle of some crap. I don't know what it was. And I dumped it out, and I put my seasoning in. Took the label off of it. And I made a cooking video and I didn't have a name. I had never thought about it. Well, at the time, whenever I made the video, I needed to call it something. So I said, now I'm going to hit it with and I was thinking fast, you know, because I said, now I'm going to hit it with some of this oh hell yeah seasoning, because oh hell yeah, this shit here's good, boys. And on that first video that I made using my seasoning, I had like 300 comments. Where can I get your seasoning? And it was like, whoa. Well, I talked to the wife, because you know, I don't do anything without. That's how I've been able to stay married for so long, is because I don't exclude her from anything.
Right.
And I said, people want this oh hell yeah seasoning. And she said, well, let's do it then. So we actually make everything. Now, I don't dehydrate the peppers and grind them. You know, I buy all the ingredients, but we mix the seasoning ourselves. We bottle it, we label it, we package it, we ship it. There's no co-packers involved.
Right.
And it's a lot of damn work whenever you sold 10,000 bottles so far.
Wow. That's impressive. Congratulations, by the way. That's awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate that, man. So that's kind of the little story on me.
No, I love it. That's kind of what we wanted to get. That's
Yes.
So our people can get an idea of who you are and go check you out. I mean, I'd love everyone. He's got some really funny, some really informative, and some really good cooking videos on his TikTok. So go check it out.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And you know, I do. I did one yesterday that I was introduced to a song, and I don't know the full name of the song, but it's by Gavin
Ramsey is our local music guy.
Yeah,
it's A Cigarette by Gavin Adcock.
Yeah, A Cigarette by Gavin Adcock, and the thing with this past weekend, if I have any regret whatsoever about this past weekend, is that my wife could not have been here with me. But in
the future, she will.
I was going to say, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I saw that coming. I knew with Matt's hospitality that if she's listening, there's definitely, I'm sure, an invitation if you guys both make it out to Montana.
And she's going to fish the top fishery in the lower 48.
Oh, that'll be awesome, man, because my wife loves to fish.
Really? That's awesome.
I mean, she baits her own hook. She'll clean fish. She does it all. I mean, she loves to fish, and with her, it's not just catching; it's fishing. You know, I think it's the serenity that comes with it. So, but that was the only regret I've had over this past weekend was that she wasn't able to be there with me, and I don't know which mountain we were going over. I don't even know if all those mountains out there have names, but, but
we were on what they call Junkyard Road.
Okay, well, and I heard that song. I don't know if it was Matt or Ramsey who introduced me to it, but I was like, dude, I gotta make a kind of a soulful video. And Matt brought me up to a place, and he said, man, he said, stand on that rock. And in the video, I don't say a word, but I kind of let my feelings for the beauty of what God has created in this state is just unbelievable. And so I made that video, and yeah, I had some hate comments. Like one of the comments I deleted was, "Old bastard, get off TikTok." Yeah, okay. And I'll tell you, there was another comment by the same guy. He said, "This is what happens when you let boomers," which I'm Gen X, but he said, "This is what happens when you let boomers on social media." And I went and looked at his account, and he had 14 followers, and I've got 912,000. Who's better on social media?
There you go. Absolutely. And I think what I like about you that kind of is a vision that we have too is you're doing what makes you happy and what is fun for you. And I think just keep doing that. I mean, everyone's going to say we had it's kind of funny. Matt did his first Matt's Minute and we had nothing, but it's been, we tried different things. Like, actually you don't know because you said in TikTok you just did what you want to do, but we've tried different things just to see what works for us. And one of the ones like Matt's Minute's been doing well. We always do people love to see elk and stuff like that. People love to see that kind of stuff. And obviously on TikTok, you can't have the actual, like what we're doing, the harvesting of the animals, because you'll get banned like that. But so we don't get to share a lot of what we do. But he did have a comment on there about how you made bread. Yes. On which was delicious, by the way. Don't know if you ever had campfire made bread before.
I have.
Which was a fry bread, essentially.
I haven't had Matt's, but I have had it.
It was delicious, and one of the first comments was, who are the people that...
Outdoor boys did it better or something like that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Easier and better.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we're just out here, this is what we do. If we didn't have a camera, we'd be doing the same thing.
Well, and I get a lot of the same kind of comments, well, that probably would have tasted better if you had... I'm not going to say Dano's name on there, but if you had this other seasoning, and all those kind of comments are, if I've learned anything through this trek of TikTok is people make those comments with one goal in mind, and that is to stir you up and to get you to say something hateful,
right? And
then they can get you either suspended or banned. And why I don't understand why people that's their goal in life is to try to destroy.
Right.
But, at the end of my videos, I always say, hey, I love all of you. I truly do. And I don't know why people can't just love back. I mean, it's so easy to do. The difference
is you mean it when you say it, though.
Huh?
You mean it when you say it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do mean it.
Well, I think a lot of people that are doing some sort of hate talk, harmful talk, they're probably not... they don't have a good life. Like they're going through stuff and they're trying to make you feel as bad as they feel. And so you almost want to feel sorry for them more than...
That's exactly what it is.
Some people just join that stuff just to do that though.
Yeah.
I mean, just for no reason at all, which I don't know why, but...
It's kind of like throwing the pitchforks at Frankenstein, you know what I mean? People join they don't even know what's going on. They're just
right.
joining the rally.
With all of our like negative comments that we get on stuff, like the four of us read them, we just laugh together. I mean, it's just
Yeah, because I think a thing that we would get is like there's a lot of Montana pride. I don't know if you've ever come across that, but Montana people are very proud of what they have, and there is a certain thing where when we talk about like out of state hunting and stuff like that, we get a different perspective on what we do, and so do I not want the entire state of California coming to Montana? Probably, because they're not going to respect the values that we have.
Right.
But at the same time, we're in an inclusive world. We want to show everybody the beautiful, like Matt and Ramsey being able to show you the beauty of what we do
right
this weekend means more to us than anything.
Well, I think you hit it on the head, Bear, when you said if someone don't believe in God, they have to when they come out to this ranch.
Yeah, there's no way that you can look at that ranch and pretty well just all of Montana. There's no way you can look at the state of Montana, and it's not just Montana. I mean, my God, Idaho, Northern California. Northern California is just a vision splendor. There's so many places in this amazing country that we're blessed to live in that if you take just a moment to look around and to see these things and not know there is a God, you have to know, because only a supreme sculptor could build this world we live in.
Yeah, and I think that you and Matt both benefit from a world, and I, a little backstory for you, Bear, is I have ended up leaving my job of like 11 years here in May due to some unfortunate circumstances. But in that time, Matt actually took me out for, I think it was like a full week, and I got to kind of experience the truck driver world just from a viewpoint of a passenger.
Right.
And you guys really get to experience. Don't get me wrong, your guys' way of life is hard for a lot of people, and being gone all the time, long hours, trying to stay awake, all the hardships that come with it. But a lot of things that you get to experience. Which I do appreciate with Matt is like, he would take me to this hole in the wall restaurant, or this, you got to try a patty melt at this restaurant here.
Right.
Or you got to go, we're going to go over this hill and you're going to see this cool thing over here. And I think that's what you guys get to benefit a lot from in your occupation is you get to see the beautiful things of America.
I think the coolest part of Bear's been driving through this part of the country for years.
Yeah.
And I took him a half a mile off the main road, and he got to see what God's country really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see, I've seen beautiful parts of Montana and other states, but I get to see it from the interstate. Mm-hmm. And just like Matt said, just a little ways off the interstate, it's a totally different country. Mm-hmm. Or countryside, So yeah, it's fantastic. And it's funny though, you saying that a long time ago, my family is all educators or in the medical field. And my sister is a special ed teacher and has been for a long time. My aunt and uncle, my dad's sister and her husband, they just had a high school named after them in Mesquite, Texas, and they're not dead yet.
Wow.
So my great grandmother, my great grandmother was the first female school superintendent in the state of Texas.
Wow.
I've got cousins who are microbiochemists and just all of that. And here I am, a truck driver. And somebody said, what happened to you? And it's like, I've gotten to see things, see places that the rest of my family will never experience. So, yeah, it's hard. I miss my family immensely. But whenever I'm old and decrepit, don't say it. Whenever I'm old and decrepit, and I can't do anything but sit on my porch in a rocking chair and reflect back over my life, I'm going to remember the bull elks that we saw yesterday and the 200-inch antlers we saw on the deer yesterday, and just looking out across the mountains, I'm going to be able to remember all that. And not just that, but of course, seeing the caribou across Western Canada, and I've watched a pack of wolves trailing some caribou in Alaska, mm-hmm. and I've seen the Boris or Aurora Borealis, is that mm-hmm. the
yep.
Northern Lights.
Yep.
I've gotten to see those things, and right here in this incredible state of Montana, I've gotten to see the Glacier National Park. I've driven through it in a Peterbilt. I've got some really cool pictures.
Yeah, unpopular opinion, by the way. Glacier National Park is better to go to than Yellowstone. I've had way more better experiences than.
Oh my God, yeah! I've been to Yellowstone. Yellowstone, nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. It's a vision splendor. But the Glacier National Park, I've only ever been through it one time, and that was just a few years ago. And I stopped and took some pictures. I'm up on top of one of the mountains, and it was just, oh my God.
That's got to be another place you got to take your wife. That's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, and as y'all may not know this, but I'm an ordained minister.
Definitely didn't know that.
Right. I'm just a very plain-spoken ordained minister, and I don't press religion on anybody. You know, if you want to believe, you believe what you want to believe. If you want to believe what I believe, we can have a discussion. If you don't want to, we don't need to have a discussion. But no matter what religion you are, you go to the top of one of the mountains in the glacier, wow. You know, whether it's God, Yahweh, whether it's God, Allah, whether it's your God, Buddha, I don't care what God you pray to. That's between you and your God. But you have to look at that and know God built this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that, and we talk about this all the time, man. Like a big part of what we do with the Bull Mountain Brothers podcast is just really enjoying that kind of stuff all the time. I mean, even some of where Ramsey and I grew up is a lot more prairie stuff. So a lot of that, you know, when you're first coming into the ranch that you're at, it's, you know, that low-lying sagebrush areas. That's a lot of what we're in over there, rolling wheat fields, stuff like that. And you can still find just the absolute beauty in some of that. You know, wouldn't you say, Ramsey? Just some of the stuff, some of the stuff that you can just really get out. You know, sometimes we actually drive out because we live in a country town. We don't actually live in this town, Ramsey and I. And so sometimes we'll just head out of the house and head out into the, you know, a couple miles down the road and just sit, you know, and just embrace. You know, I my most respect because to the people that live in big cities, but I don't think we could ever do it, man. It's just too much
Big
emotion.
cities, yeah.
I think the other thing that puts us apart is we like to share it with people. Like calling you the other day and saying, hey, you want to run out to the ranch and you're going to stay in a cabin for a couple of days, and you didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
And it was one of them deals. I mean, we didn't really know each other.
No.
You know, I think we hit it off right off the bat. And but I was able to show you something.
You didn't try to kiss me whenever I got out of the truck, you know.
Yeah, that was strange. That you know.
Yeah.
I am very surprised it didn't happen. Yeah, he gives us a different view, but yeah.
Wait till next time, buddy.
All right.
Now you're comfortable.
We're not getting tied to a tree, though.
No, we're not both. No, not both.
I got to tell you the backstory on that. My wife, she's like, you're fixing to go spend a weekend in the middle of 97,000 acres. That's over 150 square miles with some dude that you've never met before. I was like, yeah. She's like, what if you get tied to a tree and left for dead? I said, well, just look for the buzzard circling, baby. I don't know what to tell you. But then whenever he got out of the truck and I'm a solid 5 inches taller.
You felt good.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good. And then Ramsey shows up and is like, holy shit, I might get tied to a tree.
Yeah, I'm just glad he didn't show you the chloroform that was under the back seat. No, it is an interesting thing to be in a world where everyone's so easily, you're able to communicate so easily.
Right.
But it is, I can see where your wife's coming from. You know, I would have had some reserves myself and been like, where are we going? But I think you did benefit from also the fact that you could have looked up, I mean, where you were going was a established business. So, but yeah, that you put a lot of trust into Matt.
Well, the big thing is you don't know what these people, you know, you have 900,000 followers plus, and you don't know what their intentions are.
No. And there was a follower that I had, past tense, that he's out in New Jersey. Now, I'm not going to say any names whatsoever or give any indication of a name, but I thought he was a straight up dude, you know. And there's another creator, great guy, goes by Peterbilt 71. And Peterbilt 71 is a deeply spiritual, deeply religious man. And he cooks in his truck. And most of the stuff that he puts together, I'm not eating simply because it's different taste. You know?
Right.
But I know him personally. I know him very, very well. And so if he blocks somebody, there's a very good reason for it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the most forgiving people I've ever known. Well, this particular follower, he messages me one night, and he said in the message, which we'd talked on the phone, so he had my phone number, and it was a text message. He sent me a text message. He says, "You will," and he capitalized "will." Didn't ask me anything, didn't preface it. And he said, "You will contact Peterbilt 71 and you will tell him," capitalized, "tell him to unblock me because I am going to follow his page." And I wrote him back. I said, "No, man.
Yeah.
That dog don't hunt. You know, that's his page. I'm not going to tell him what he can, who he can have on it and who he can't have on it."
Right.
Not happening. Well, then he goes on a personal vendetta against me and goes to trying to trash me. And I made a video on it. I'll send it to you guys after this is over. But he made a video on it. I thought he was a straight up kind of guy, and then come to find out, he's an absolute nut job.
Right.
So yeah, it is kind of scary. I'd be a liar if I didn't say that I had thought about putting my pew in my bag just in case.
Yeah.
But the messages that had gone back and forth between me and Matt, I could tell he was just a normal guy.
Right.
And that's what I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely. And I don't know if we just have a good people radar, but over the last 2 years, we can say this, and with you being here as the newest one, everyone we've met through this has been nothing but an amazing person. Upstanding, and as well as like really on par with our viewpoints, which
Right.
is like family, friends, and enjoying what you do.
Yeah.
And I think you fit right into that. And I think that's really
Well,
cool
I
for us.
appreciate that. And I am going to talk to my very good friend, and he's our main load getter dude, guy named Mike Jewell there at PTI. I'm going to talk to him and say, "Hey, man, you need to send me west more often.
Absolutely.
As often as possible."
Well, and I can say this right now, as long as you want to, there's always a seat open at this table when you're coming through, because this has been a great time. We've really enjoyed getting to know who you are, and obviously whatever blossoms with the high country salsa and the Oh Hell Yeah seasoning being on our shelves, we are more than happy with getting to know you and having you come here. So there's always a seat open at the table.
Well, I'm looking forward to this new endeavor. I really am. I mean, I say new endeavor like Oh Hell Yeah. Oh Hell Yeah.
Well.
Pulling a you there, Matt. Oh Hell Yeah has only been available for the last 5 months.
Right.
And I was told roughly 10,000 bottles in 5 months.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's a conception here. And Sean's a big businessman. I mean, you're looking at like potentially with next year coming, I mean, you could really blow this out of the water.
Absolutely.
And I think you will. It's an amazing product. We've all tried it.
Well, I don't think it's if. You will.
Absolutely.
You will blow this out of the water.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
Yeah, and I'd love to see, like I said, I know that you're all online sales now, but wouldn't it be cool to come like walk into Walmart and be like, "Oh hell yeah."
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ramsey, soundbite that "Oh hell yeah" real quick.
Oh hell yeah.
Do you guys have anything else you want to bring to the table before we head out? Or Bear, do you have any questions? Matt, anybody?
I don't. I just want to thank you guys tremendously because, I've been on other podcasts. I've been on other interviews, and I've never enjoyed one as much as this.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome.
You guys are great.
That is awesome.
Thank you. No, we really appreciate that. We try to give an environment where it's, like you said, it's more of a sitting around the fire kind of environment
Right.
than I mean, we are professional. Don't
Right.
get me wrong there, but it's not,
Well, you know what?
you can have fun here.
We need to plan for late spring, early summer. Actually, when it's still cool enough in the evening to sit around the fire. We need to all of us get together and actually sit around the fire.
I'd love that more
Absolutely.
than anything personally. We'll schedule that. I'd love that.
Yeah, we need to do that.
That's a
Grab
memory.
a brewski and go out to camp and
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, Bear. Well, thank you again. We're going to take off for now. Let's talk about real quick, just on our way out, friends at Right on Trek, friends over at Tier 1, check them out. check out our social medias.
And we're gonna have the old hell yeah on our advertisement.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna just stay tuned. This is not by far the last time you're gonna hear about Oh Hell Yeah. I promise you that right now.
Awesome.
Go check out our socials. We're putting out new and improved weekly content, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. We're going to be out there and we're going to be showing you guys kind of what we're up to, and we're doing a lot of fun things. I mean, this right here has been a blast, and we're only 7 days into 2024.
Right.
Yeah.
Season 3, we're on episode 2, and things are really blowing out of the water. So go check out all of our stuff. Most importantly, go check out BearTheVoice 3 on TikTok, and go check out his stuff. He's got some awesome stuff. And order yourself some Oh Hell Yeah seasoning.
Oh hell yeah, man! And to the people watching on live, y'all go pull up Bull Mountain Brothers on TikTok. Y'all need to follow Bull Mountain Brothers. These are great bunch of guys.
Thank you so much, Bear. We really appreciate that.
thank
You. For now, we're going to let Bear get going. Like I said, there's a championship Montana football game going on right now. We're going to go check that out. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.
Later.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Bull Mountain Brothers.
Hey, if you're looking for more Bull Mountain Brothers, be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Bull_Mountain_Brothers and Facebook and YouTube at Bull Mountain Brothers.
Also, don't forget to check out our B&B store at bullmountainbrothers.com, where you can find some super sweet deals on some seasonal merchandise and outdoor gear.